Now, fair warning, some of these are going to feel like a slap in the face. You're going to be thinking, you don't have to call me out like that. Your tail is hitting the light. But it is for the greater good, because you do not want these things weighing you down for the rest of the year. Isn't that right? Yes, it is. Let's go. Oh, you're the best girl. The best girl. Always a good hook. Good hooks. Hi guys, it's Laura and I help you live a simpler, happier, more spacious life. And let's go right for the jugular, shall we? Because the post-holiday season can see a lot of stuff lying around because we all got stuff in and now we're trying to get it out. First on this list is anything that you bought, and we've all been there, as part of this new year, new me motivation. Anything you bought around the new year. So this could be like workout gear. It could be half hobby and craft stuff. Maybe food that you bought as part of your healthy new me mentality. You know, like, sorry, kale, but you're out. All those types of things. Or maybe you bought something in the January or New Year's or just like post-Christmas sales. You thought you were getting yourself a good discount, but really you don't need that stuff. The problem with a lot of those types of things, apart from the fact that they're taking up space in your home when you could use that space for something else, is that they also come with a lot of mental clutter. So it could be the guilt of seeing it every time because, I don't know, you spent money on it, or you thought you were going to be this brand new person overnight and you're just not, because change can take a while. And it's not just kind of guilt or shame, but it's also a task, like it's a chore, a to-do item. Every time you look at it, you're thinking, I really should do this, I really must do this. Yes, I keep meaning to get round to that, and on and on. Remove the item and with it any kind of negative feelings it brings up for you. In a similar vein then is planners and or planner accessories. I have bought many over the years. I say this as a planner nerd, and now I realize that I am 100% a digital gal. So maybe you have done the same. You've bought yourself a paper planner and you've tried to make it work, but really you keep going back to digital, or vice versa. Maybe you spent money on some software like a to-do app or something and you realize actually it's more pen and paper for you. Maybe the planner you bought just doesn't work for you for whatever reason. The layout isn't working, or you bought a whole bunch of accessories, stickers, pens and things, and you realize that you don't need all of that stuff, or it's actually making life more difficult for you. It could be a case of just kind of tweaking or changing a few things, or maybe you've realized that, you know, all of those accessories are actually detracting from the basics, like you just need a foundational planner. Or it could be something where the entire system is just not working for you, like with the digital versus paper debate. Whatever the reason, if the planner is not doing what you needed to do, it's probably time to pass it up and move on to something else. Next on the list then is coupons or gift cards. Let me tell you why this is a great time of year to do it. It's because a new year has rolled around, and therefore it's really easy to spot expiry dates. So if it has last year's expiry date on it, or maybe even previous years, it's time to get rid of those. Now you could try contacting the company and ask them if they will extend the coupon or gift card or whatever it is. I have done that in the past with success. Worth chancing your arm, but yes, if it's expired, it's dead and gone, recycle it. But there are some other cases where you may want to declutter a coupon or a gift card. So you either won't get around to using it before it expires, or you just know that you're not going to use it, full stop. It is for a store or a product or a service that you know you're not going to utilize. In those cases, you can re-gift it to someone else. Something that I like to do sometimes if I've got, say, a coupon for something at the store that I know I'm not going to buy, I leave the coupon there beside the product so that the next person who's going to buy it can avail of the coupon. You are decluttering and doing a random act of kindness at the same time. Wins all round. If they have expired, get rid of them so they're not taking up space in your wallet or your drawer. But for the other ones, don't keep them until they expire. Do something with them now. And let's face it, post-holiday season, something that you're probably going to have a lot of in terms of leftovers is packaging, receipts, gift bags, things like that. All of those boxes and bags and wrappers and receipts really add up quickly over the holiday season, because let's face it, we're all buying more and we're all receiving more. Maybe your bins were full over the holiday season and there were some boxes and things that you just couldn't fit in, so they stuck around, or maybe you bought something you weren't sure if you were going to return it, so you hung on to the bag, the receipt, the box. Huge space saver right there. Now sometimes I do hang on to some boxes. I use them as donation boxes. So if decluttering is something that you really want to get into this year and you want to go hardcore at it, particularly if you're trying to get your family or your other housemates on board, leaving dedicated donation boxes around the place is a great way for them to, and for you, to easily declutter things. When there is a designated donation space, you'll be amazed at how quickly those fill up. So yeah, maybe keep one or two, let the rest go. Now look, let's be honest, sometimes it is the content of those boxes that needs to leave our home, and there are two different ways that could be true. So the first is you received something or you bought something and it's still sitting in the box, you know you're not going to use it. Get rid of that stuff, but also stuff that you put into a donation box and then didn't actually donate it, and the stuff is still sitting around your home. I am guilty of this all of the time. Now, I did do a big clear out before Christmas and I made a conscious effort to get the stuff out because my family were going to be visiting. I didn't want all of that stuff taking up space, but I know in previous years I have definitely done this. Maybe you went on a New Year decluttering spree and you've just got a lot of stuff now lying around that you've been meaning to get rid of. Here it is, here is your sign, this is the moment. Now is your chance to actually follow through and bring that stuff to the charity shop, to the recycling center, or wherever it needs to go. This one could be another one of those ones where you're thinking, how did she know? I know, because you are me, I am you. We've all done this. Projects that you started and won't finish. Now maybe you intend to finish, maybe you're thinking, oh, I might get around to it sometime, or maybe you know in your heart of hearts you're not going to do it. But if it has been sitting around for a while, particularly if you bought it as part of that new year, new me, I'm going to do all of the things and work out all of the time and take up this new exciting hobby, or start this new craft, or make all these scrapbooks for my kids who are now teenagers. Like I said, we have all been there, but as I mentioned earlier on in the video, sometimes it's not just physical clutter, but it is mental clutter as well, because every time you see it, you're thinking, I really should get around to that, or I spent money on that, I really need to finish it. On and on, all of these negative things that we tell ourselves, it's just distracting us from the things that we actually really want to do. Free yourself from that burden, just draw a line under it and move it along, and it will free up more space, not just physical but headspace too, for you to focus on the things that you actually want to do. I gave up on the scrapbook thing a long time ago. I mean, there's still a little part of my heart that thinks someday I'll get around to that, but I realized that in this moment at least, it's just not going to happen. Do I wish I were that person? Do I wish I could do all of the crafts and all of the scrapbooks and have everything beautiful? Yes, absolutely. But am I that person? No, I'm not. Another thing that can take up a lot of space, and again, this is something that tends to pile up around the holiday season and then it just lingers, is all of those takeout extras. I'm talking like sauce packets, I'm talking paper plates, plastic cutlery, plastic straws, napkins, etc. Now, if you do use them, that's great. You can use the natural decluttering method, which is just using things up. If you do that already, good for you. If not, you could make a commitment now to do it, to use up all of that stuff. If you know that you're not going to be using all of those packets and the cutlery and stuff, something that I like to do with them is to donate them to a local food pantry. It's another one of those things that is wins all around. You can free up maybe an entire drawer, or just, you know, make the drawer easier to open and close. And also going forward, if you are going to be ordering more food, then ask them. There's usually like a little note section section where you can just write down any special requests. You can just ask them not to send any cutlery or napkins or things if you already have them at home. That way in future you have a less to declutter, and you're just saving the planet too, not cluttering up the environment. Oh, I'm just not built for sitting on the floor anymore. I don't know why I do this to myself, but anyway. I'm only now realizing how filthy the cupboard where I keep my cleaning supplies is. How ironic. Anywho, yes, cleaning supplies, cleaning tools is next on the list. Let's face it, we all use the same cleaning supplies and cleaning tools over and over again, even though we probably have way more than what we're actually using. You buy something for a specific job, you know, some specific stain remover or something, and you just never end up using it, or you use it that one time and then just leave the bottle there. Or maybe you are switching to more kind of eco-friendly cleaners and you're leaving the harsher ones behind. Again, this is a great category where you can do natural decluttering, just committing to using the stuff up before you go out and buy anything new. But if you know that you're definitely not going to use them, declutter them, get rid of them in as safe a manner as you can. Water and a bit of elbow grease, folks. That's my two secret cleaning ingredients. They will tackle pretty much any job I need them to do. Dog is being awfully quiet. I'm starting to worry. Next on the list is lists. How meta. Even if you're not a list maker like me, a list lover, chances are you do have a few lists, whether it be a to-do list, a shopping list, maybe you've made a list of shows that you want to watch or places that you want to go or things that you want to buy. These days it's really easy for all those types of lists, you know, like wish lists and things, to get really long really quickly, because it just takes like the click of a button to add something to your list or add something to your favorites or add something to your cart, and before you know it, you've got a list that's like hundreds of items long. This was a big problem for me in terms of YouTube's like watch later list. I was just, anything that was even remotely interesting, I was like, yeah, I'll watch that later. And the past year I made a concerted effort to whittle it down. I started with 799 videos in my watch later list, and I went through it, like I said, this past year, whittled it down to 0. Now, not every single one I watched. I would go through anything that I knew I was no longer interested in. I would get rid of it. Some I would only watch like a minute or two before I realized wasn't really what I wanted, but I did watch a good chunk of them. Library books, this is another one I have issues with, because the library app has like a wish list. So anytime I spot a book that's even remotely interesting, I add it to the wish list, and it becomes really overwhelming. And something that I did just recently actually was to go through my physical library books, and it kind of sparked this great idea, I guess, that there are lots of books that look interesting to me that I might be interested in reading, but I have to focus on the ones that I'm actually excited to read. So I've taken this mindset now and applied it to all of my lists. Like, okay, I might be interested in watching this program, but am I really excited to watch it? I don't need to scroll through a list of hundreds of TV shows or films or YouTube videos or whatever it is, like products, services, books, like to get to the ones that I actually genuinely want to be involved with and spending my time on. So if you've got any sort of list, whether it be a physical list or a digital list, whittle it down to the ones that are really genuinely interesting to you, and get rid of all of the other ones where it was just too easy to click add to list. Now, with Valentine's Day coming up, I would be remiss if I did not mention cards and letters from loved ones. So it used to be the case for me where I would keep every single card I ever received. Nowadays, I focus just on keeping the most recent ones that I have received from loved ones, and the ones that have really meaningful messages in them. Listen, I'm 38 now. If I kept every single card, which I was doing for a long time, but if I kept every single card or letter that I ever received, I wouldn't be able to move. Not that like I have that many friends or family members or anything, but it's just, I've lived a few decades. They do add up. So yeah, my rule might work for you too, is most recent and most meaningful. If you like this video, if you're looking for more quick decluttering wins, number 1, subscribe, because I make these videos every single month. But 2, check out this list of 50 things that you can declutter in 5 minutes or less. Great for those times when you need a quick decluttering boost, but you don't have like all day or all of the energy to devote to it. Go click through and watch that, and until next time, go raibh, míle maith agaibh. agus feici mé sib se glua. Slán!